Rolling, rolling. Top of the day. Biblical Twist podcast, chapter 1, episode 7, I believe. A little practice. Disclaimer before I start. I'm not perfect. I'm not a preacher. I'm not holier than thou. I'm not a Bible thumper. None of the above. I'm not a scholar. I'm just doing a little community service, a little church building from experience, kingdom work, if that makes sense. And today I want to talk about flesh versus spirit. I've been thinking about this a lot because these are some of the things I struggle with, you know what I'm saying, the flesh. Sometimes the spirit is willing, but the flesh is, against it. And I think that's one of the biggest conflicts we have is spirit versus flesh. And in my opinion, I feel like the flesh is your lower half, your lower vibration, and spirit is your ultimate highest vibration. Flesh can bring out some dark sides in you, and your spirit can bring out some higher sides in you as far as your higher self, your top self, your best self. And flesh can bring it out to your lower self, your worst self, your dark side. I do believe everybody has a duality, a dark side and a light side. So that's what I want to talk about, the war within, basically, you know what I'm saying? Because the flesh is against spirit and spirit is against flesh. Two opposite ends, And again, this is just for the believers. It's not for everybody. Let me start by saying that this is not for everybody. This is only for a certain few people that are believers. No religion, no none of that stuff. We're just keeping it straight and simple, quick. This is not anti-life, anti-human. This is not about killing, stealing, or destroying, which is the agenda of dark entities or whatever. This is for building the church, building the people, the community, city, state, country, world. It's global right here. So, conflict, because it's flesh against spirit. The conflict. Let's put the conflict, right? Conflict means opposition, resistance, or war, right? Against your higher self, your spirit self. And this is why most advertisements, most things you see on TV, social media, all that stuff are sexual. Like a sexy lady smoking a cigarette, whatever. Everything's like sexual. Even the music, everything's sexual to your lower nature, right? And I believe they have certain aspects, certain things put in place to keep us in those lower vibrations. And I'm still struggling with this. I'm not perfect. I'm just, trying to help people that are in the same boat, Now, flesh is not just your body, right? It could be a part of you that wants to control. It could be a part of you that wants to control something, right? Whether it's pride, a temporary feeling, or comfort. Some people are stuck in their ways because they're comfortable with that pattern or they're comfortable with that, right? And of course, spirit is your higher self. It's like God's life for you. Your higher self, your best self, your ultimate self, right? And truth, obedience. Really, God's way. Yahweh, basically. Yah's way. Flesh again could be like fallen human nature, self-rule, impulse, or maybe emotion. And emotion emotion can go into several categories. Emotion can go into several categories. Jealousy, envy, hatred. I mean, we can go in different categories when it comes to emotion. So, these are just principles to better your life, principles on walking, the right path, the right way, which will eventually change everything for you, keep you in that spirit nature. And it's also by living in spirit, which is a higher vibration, I believe it changes your generational cycle. Because this is my opinion. The flesh leads to curses, and then curses lead to like generational toxicity. I mean, it gets passed down to kid, and the kid passes it down to the other kid, and they all say, "Oh, I saw my parents doing it." They said, "I saw my other parents doing it." Everybody, that's just like it's a cycle, right? So I feel like living in your spirit, living in your highest vibration, could break cycles, And for anybody that wants to check into that, that's Galatians 5:16. Anyway, short and simple, sweet, Biblical Twist podcast. We rolling. Just wanted to talk about that. Flesh versus spirit, the conflict with flesh versus spirit. Over and out.